Hi, everyone. This is session 2 of the Outside mini campaign. Tonight we have Connor Davies from Dice on Ice returning. And we have Karen Davies. She's also returning with her character. And we have 2 new characters played by Chris Johnson and Jim Bob Lloyd. Chris, is there anything you want to say? An intro? Plug any channels?
Thanks for having me. And yeah, I guess I'm one half of the Dargon, well, 1/3 of the Dargon Gaming Squad YouTube channel. So,
Connor, did you want to do an intro? Plug your channel.
Hey guys, I'm Connor, half of Dice on Ice. Gonna have some fun playing as Subject X, a mysterious figure and pawn of the mysterious organization known as the Watchtower. And I'm excited to play tonight.
Thank you. Jim Bob, anything you want to say or promote?
Sure. So I'm Jim Bob, and I run the channel Jim the GM, where I run anything from D&D to Mutants and Masterminds. Getting ready to start some Genesis here soon, and loving all of it. And I'm really ready to play with y'all.
All right, thank you. Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen. I have nothing to promote, but I'm here to play a bard named Cacophonix.
All right, thank you, everyone. We last left Subject X, Cacophonix, and Swifter Than Swords, a monk-like character that's played by Jason. They were, I wouldn't say captured, they were brought forth to encampment of a group. Check my notes. A group of called the Valois, and they follow the teachings of the Emerald Bow. Their leader is a Valois named Iskander, and his advisor, Solath, the Keeper of the Teachings. And they could not understand the language, but through Iskander and Solath, they were able to get a partial communication going. And they find out that this group is like a front guard to any advances by the undead Belnorn. And it's their job to defend, to make sure they don't advance anymore, and to keep them at bay. And they have just told the party that they found 2 others that are similar in features to the party members, at least more so than they are to the Valois. And they requested the help of the party to help defeat some of the undead Belnorn. And we'll say the party is just brought forth to see. They're brought forth to sort of like an infirmary, as best as they can tell. And there are 2 members. One is unconscious, and he looks. I don't know if any of you would have seen him. He looks like one of the gate guards that were watching the gate to your community. And the second one, who happens to just be waking up right now, and if anyone knows, it is Isleen. So Isleen, what you were just waking up now, and so the first time you've woken up in this group, and you do also see the party members, as well as a few strange other creatures that you've not seen before.
So I look around and there's shock in my eyes. This is not where I expected to be or thought I was. And I recognize a face or two, and that kind of helps me relax a little bit, but I'm pretty shocked. What's going on? What? Huh? Where am I?
One of the strange beings, he approaches you and says, he speaks in an oddly accented voice and says, I am Solath. I am the keeper of the teachings. You have been, we rescued you. You were attacked by some Belnorn. Only you and this other survived, but he is in bad shape. And these three have just come in. You have been asleep for maybe 3 or 4 days now, since we found you. But these three have just arrived. Are they friends of yours?
Yes.
Do you two say anything?
Subject
I'll,
X doesn't say anything.
I'll nonchalantly go up to her, like, wake up, sleepyhead! You've been sleeping for days! What is up with that? Get up, come on, let's go,
Okay. And I stand up and kind of, assessing as I stand up to see, what's hurt, what's damaged, how do I, assessing everything as I rise.
Actually, I don't think you described what your character looks like. Did you?
Yeah. So, you see a woman with wavy red hair, and she has one violet eye and one gray eye. And she's dressed in, a cloak and leggings, and bodice that are all just very monochromatic. She's wearing kind of a sort of a teal color. She's kind of looks human, but she's human Hobbs, so she has, kind of a mix of characteristics on her inner features. That's probably about all you'd assess right now. Her eyes are pretty warm and friendly in spite of their odd coloring. And now that she's kind of figured out where she is, she looks fairly happy to see familiar faces.
Now, Isleen, do you know Subject X, Cacophonix, or Swifter Than Swords personally?
If I recall, I only knew one of them personally. And I believe it was actually Swifter Than Swords. But I'm certainly aware of Cacophonix. I've seen him around the dwelling. The village or whatever.
So, Swifter Than Swords will probably say something along the lines like he recognizes you, and he it's good to see you alive, and but how did you get out here? We were the first ones out.
I actually came out with another group, a little in advance of everyone else. And yeah, I'm not sure how long you've been out, but you were still there when I left.
Subject X, Cacophonix, did you know about this other group that was sent out before us?
I knew nothing. I kind of look at Subject X and inquisitively, like, something's going on here, and so maybe Subject X knows the answer. So I'm kind of looking towards him for any answers.
Subject X just has this blank, lifeless stare that offers no answers.
Is your hand out?
Not currently, no.
Oh, no. Okay. So, you don't want to record two members of your community that have been out before? You were?
I think, like, at first... Or maybe, actually, yeah. Never mind. Yeah, Subject X definitely be doing that. But very kind of, like, discreetly, if that makes sense. Like, palm just facing towards them.
Now, so, Solath says, "Oh, very good. You are friends then. Now, come. We leave the other to rest, and we will discuss this mission we would have you go on for us." And he escorts you back to the encampment and says, "So, to prove that in good faith, we showed you we have two of your people here, and they are in good health. Well, one is in good health. The one is not doing well. Maybe one day he will wake up, or we will see. But we want you to undertake a task for us to hunt the undead. We think we found a source of their power. We request that you search for this and destroy any power they have, any undead, and then we will discuss anything you need, perhaps trade or something else. Is that a good offer?
Yeah. So are you gonna like give us stuff to help with this task, or are we on our own?
We will send one of our people with you, one of our great soldiers, and he will come and he will help you and guide you. To show it is all in good faith. And he he calls one of the guards over, speaks in their language, and sends him off. And he comes to collect your character, Jim Bob, CV. And he leads you, he explains to you you've been tasked to do, and gives you the information and says that you are to follow the outsiders and make sure that they undertake this quest, and then and says you should get out, come and meet them now. So he escorts you over to, and you see Keeper Solath there with some outsiders that you've heard. They've made a bit of a commotion coming into this encampment. So, yes, CV. This is What is your title? Yes, how would you be addressed?
Civi's fine.
No, that's me asking, Jim Bob. Do you have a title like officer or you know, uh,
Oh no, and
warrior?
that's what he'll respond. These people who are causing commotion, I want very little to do with them. And if they know what place or rank I'm in, the less they know about me, the better.
So I guess Solath, he would just refer to you as CV then. CV, come meet the outsiders, and he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out. What does he pull out and present to you?
It is this curved reed and bone device, literally the shape of my ear. And as I take it I see, I haven't used this in a long time, and you're giving this back to me now. I take it, and I put it to my ear. It goes right up and fits through every crevice of my ear, and even closes around the back of my ear, so it looks like I have this wooden bone reed ear on the right side of my head.
And so now you start off with a little bit of a headache, but you know that will pass, and you know that you can now understand and speak with the outsiders. So this is CV, and Solath speaks in their language, and these are the outsiders, and this is Cacophonix. It's a large, for our intents, a large orcish-looking creature. Actually, she has the picture over there in the chat, with bald, tattooed, type, big, burly type character.
Huh. I laugh.
And then points to this one clad in, for all intents and purposes, for you, it looks like he's clad in armor from head to toe. Well, you can't tell if it's a he or a she. This is Subject X. And then to the third one, who has some similar features to the first one, pointed ears, but has long red hair, and her eyes are two different colors. And she's not wearing she's, I guess, what kind of clothing do you have on? Was it, you're muted?
Sorry. It's just like a robe and leggings and a bodice. There's not much, to it.
There's probably some blood and some dirt caked on, maybe a little tears on it after your ordeal. This is Isleen. And you are to accompany and then points to another one that looks a lot, actually looks a lot like Karen's character, Cacophonix, but different kinds of tattoos. This is Swifter Than Swords. And you are to accompany them to the Bill Norn's place of power.
All right. That's where you want Civi to go. Civi will go. But with them, Civi don't know. And this is all coming from a man who stands about 3.5 foot tall. And it's an oddly deep-ish voice. Standing there, and whereas you might have seen somebody else with some sort of leathers on here, part of our military, I am standing in what looks to be my formal wear, my green with my blue accent, arms crossed, and no boots or foot covering whatsoever. My feet look dirty and I don't seem to care. Fine.
The Veloy basically, just to remind everyone, they are shorter than even the ones who are very dwarf-like from your culture. The ones who are shorter in your culture might be closer to 4 or 5 feet tall, even at the low end. So these people are a lot shorter than what you are used to. And Civi seems a little different than some of the other ones, but they are pretty much, a lot of them some of them are wearing armor, some don't. But they all have the same colors. You said green and blue? So you said, Jim?
Right.
It was green and blue? Yeah, okay. So we're wearing the similar colors and the same markings that denotes that he's part of this group, like the more militaristic part than Solath might. Even though he has similar colors, he doesn't portray himself as military. So you could rest for the night here, and in the morning, Sivi will guide you. Is there
How
any?
far is this place you're sending us?
It is about maybe 3 days travel south of here.
Okay.
Which is not too far. We found you and your friends maybe about a day south. Our scouts found you. So if you want, you can also travel through. CV is actually one that found you. His party, so he could lead you there if you want.
How'd we get here? Surely he didn't carry us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. Civi did. Civi carried you.
And I'm sorry, as soon as he says that, Cacophonix is just going to put out a burst of a hearty laugh. Like he's just imagining this little guy carrying her, and it's hilarious in his mind, and he just bursts out laughing.
Celine joins you in that mirth, and then looks at CV. Well, you must be darn strong then. I guess that means you'll be handy.
I'm gonna let Jim Bob know, and the Isleen probably hasn't seen them, but the rest of the party has. They are called striders, and they are 6-limbed crustaceans with gazelle heads. We thank Jason for that bit of information. That is what the Veloy use as sort of a mount type thing, like a beast of burden. So as I said, the main body, 6 legs, crustacean-like, and then it has a gazelle head. So whether you carried or used those, that's up to you. CV.
Carried.
You probably had those because they're good for beasts of burden and to carry extra supplies and stuff like that. And they are pretty quick for creatures like that. So sometimes you would use them as mounts with sort of not exactly a saddle, more like a basket of sorts, but can hold 2 people on them. So Solath says, do you have any questions, anything? You can direct him to CV. He will help you. And I must retire and meditate on the teachings. And in the morning you can set out. And he bows and he heads over to his tent.
I look at Cacophonix and the rest of the group, and I say, "Man, I'm not sure if we should thank him or I don't know. That's a weird situation."
And I'll walk away and leave y'all standing there then. Said he carried you.
The Catholic kind of just chuckles as Sylvie walks away and like, you have no idea how weird this situation is. It is.
I
They
mean,
don't like my music. Like, who are these people? How can
they
you
don't
not
like your music?
No,
Your music?
exactly. Exactly. I have no idea. I mean, these people are weird.
They save us on the one hand and they order us to do something on the other. I don't know.
Well, morning's probably going to come pretty soon. I guess.
Yes,
So-
and I don't know if we're 100% yet, so guess we should take advantage of that.
Yeah. How does she look, actually? Does she look like she's hale, or is she still hurting?
She's probably just maybe scratches and stuff, but she looks in good condition. She just looks like she has been through a lot. Maybe another night of rest may probably be good for her.
I feel a little stiff and sore, and a little more rest sounds nice. So, CB, where are we to rest? Just right here, or
I think CV walked away. CV walked away, but you guys are at what looks like a little campsite, and they've set up a little. They've set up a tent there that will holds about 4 people. Yeah, we'll hold 4 people there for just 4 of you. And Swifter says, "This is our campsite. This is where they have us stay. I think they want us to sleep here too."
all right, well, let's go. And I just walk off into the tent and look for sleeping, I look for a cot or whatever and just claim one and
Is there anything
pass out.
anything anyone wants to do this night before they head to bed?
While everyone is kind of tucking into bed or whatever, Subject X is kind of just sitting, probably cross-legged, outside the tent. And as it turns dark, it puts out a hand, the hand that has the little the gem inset into it, and from it, an image would be projected in an illusory kind of fashion. And it's essentially a recap of what has happened this past day in events, kind of going in fast forward motion. Some parts Subject X would rewind and watch over again. But they would do this essentially the whole night rather than sleeping.
So, as the rest of you wind down, you have maybe something to eat, and then head to bed. It's it's not entirely restful. You're used to what you're used to back home, but consider it a bit, roughing it a bit. So it's probably not too bad. And the morning comes, and you can smell some cooking outside of your tent. And one of the Voloi comes up to up to you, Isleen, and he says a few words in broken common for you, and says supplies, because right now you don't have anything on you aside from your clothing. So he says supplies, and he motions you to follow him.
I do.
And he takes you to what looks like it's a pile of the remains of what you and your party members had, and you can pick through some of it and supply yourself with a few things. And there's some of the stuff that's yours, some that isn't, but you can make do with it. It's probably all that they scavenged that wasn't that they carry along with them.
Great. So I do that. I get right into it, dig through looking for my pack if I can find it, and different bits and pieces, and get myself set.
You do find your pack, and inside is your book. It's still there, and any personal items. There's a staff. Crossbow isn't yours, but it looks serviceable. And there's a dagger as well if you wanted to pick one up.
Great. Yeah, I'll grab a dagger. I'll grab as many quivers as I can scavenge out of the pile, and certainly as many as I can wear, and then extras in case anybody else needs them.
You get enough. We'll go with whatever's on your character sheet, whatever you started with. You managed to scavenge enough for you carry. You don't take it all, because you figure if the guard wakes up, he might want a few things. Even maybe they'll escort him back to where you guys are if he wakes up shortly. So when you head back, it looks like breakfast was already brought and placed outside of your tent. Cacophonix, are you already out and eating?
Oh no, I'm still sleeping.
Okay, and Subject X, do you head out to eat something?
Subject X is already kind of like active. It seems like they were the first one to wake up, but in reality, they never slept. And so they'd be out in the bush, kind of just scanning every odd thing around the campsite, just using that little gem on their palm, just tracing over it with their hand, and just would be essentially at the ready to move on. But no, Subject X does not approach the campsite to eat food.
Are you staying inside the tent?
Outside, I'm outside, just in the area outside the tent.
Any Valoi you see walking around, they try not to make eye contact, and they give you a wide berth. They'll like cross over to the other side of the camp and take even a longer way just to not come close to you. CV, have you been up for a while, or did you just get up?
Oh, of course I've been up for a while. Civi has been doing his morning workout, has probably already done quite a patrol. He is hard-nosed and married to the military.
And so you're probably finishing. Do you head over to their little camp area?
Yeah. Their little camp area is not big enough for Civi.
It's close. It's not exactly in the center, but it's not on the outside. Your group placed them where they could be watched, but not too close. But then there are other tents further out, so they're not that you were expecting them to run off, but just so they could be kept an eye on. Obviously, it's still you don't know if they're fully trusted by the higher ups yet. They're still they don't know them very well. But obviously,
That
this
makes
is
sense.
this is a test to see if they're trustworthy. So you're arriving in a looks like so Isleen, yeah, did you have some breakfast?
Yeah, I think I'd brave breakfast.
It's not bad. It's not something you're used to, even though you've had a wide range of different foods. It's a little different, but you notice. I'm trying to remember. Do you have nature or
I
knowledge of nature?
have. Yes. Well, yeah, it's like a +3.
Some of the stuff looks like it may have, obviously been foraged, so it's not. You've eaten some of it before, not in this exact mixture, but so it's not something totally foreign to you.
Cool. So, yeah, I'll be open-minded and partake of it and be grateful for a full belly.
Actually, Swifter, I forgot about him. He would already be out there. He was already eating, doing his morning routine.
So I sit down next to him with
Now, but so basically, we're just gonna say he's always there because he will accompany you, but he doesn't say much. All right, so CV, you get closer and you notice Subject X is standing a bit away from the camp area, and you notice that there's just two of them outside having breakfast. You don't see the big one.
Civi's job was not to look for the one that's missing. If one is not here right now, then I'm certain that they either are inside somewhere, they have gone through town, and I'm certain that the town will be very aware of them. I don't know how more I'm needing to protect the town from him or it at this point, the big one. So I'm going to continue to stand there, straight balance on both feet, and the same thing that you saw me yesterday. My eyes moving between you, but my body showing very little motion.
Swifter says, so are we ready to go then? I think unless Cacophonix isn't ready.
Yeah. Where is Cacophonix? I haven't seen him since I left the tent.
Mental note made. Cacophonix is a him.
You could tell Cacophonix is a him and Isleen is a female, and well, Swifter Than Swords is male as well.
Oh, X is armored. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody knows right now about X.
So I walk up to CV and
my eyes follow you, and my head will tilt just a little bit so I can still see your face up above me.
And I'm thinking I'm thinking internally, it feels so nice to feel tall. I'm like all of 5 feet, so I'm generally on the shorter side of things. So it's nice to feel tall. But I say, I look at you. Good morning, CV. I know we didn't get off on the right foot last night, but I miss Lean. I thought it would be, if we're going to be with each other for a few days, we might as well break the ice. How are you this morning?
And tapping on my ear. Civi stood on both feet yesterday. Like he had got hung up on my translator, got off on the wrong foot. Confused by you completely. The rest of it made no sense. Tried to process it, nothing. Civi stood tall. And he looks at his feet and holds them up, and they're just caked. Civi Civi's feet work fine.
Oh, CD, it's an expression. It means I realize I didn't make a good impression.
No, you did not.
I'm sorry. I figured the least I could do is try to be friendly. And I extend my hand out.
Nods at you. Goes back to looking at everybody.
So I pull my hand back, trying to hide a blush a little bit at the apparent faux pas of that maybe not being accustomed where you are, and I just nod back. And then I just kind of awkwardly turn away and go into the tent to see what's up with Cacophonix.
So you head over to the tent, and you go in, and Cacophonix, are you still asleep?
Oh yeah, snoring away.
Cacophonix, time to get up. I give you a shake.
Like, shove off. What do you want?
Well, we need to shove off, so it's time to get up and get moving. Everybody's waiting on you, sleepyhead.
Oh.
That'll be one for your songs.
Right.
You can write one about the lazy bard who wanted to sleep the day away.
Right. We're not home, are we?
No.
It wasn't a dream, was it? Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Give me 5. I'll be there.
Okay. There's some passable food outside if you're hungry.
Yeah, it sounds good. Man.
I go back outside and I just kind of plop down on the ground and start like reorganizing everything, making sure everything's ready to go and where I need it to be when I want it.
And as you leave the tent, Subject X is just standing there, just in the middle of, everything, just still almost like a statue, kind of like the Warhammer at rest at the ground between their two hands, just standing like basically at the ready to get going.
And I look at him and I look at Swifter Than Swords and CV and I just say, he needs a few minutes, but he's up now.
Yeah, so after a couple of minutes, Cacophonix is going to come out of the tent and he surveys everybody and kind of nods at his peeps. And then he looks at Civvy and is like, good morning, little man. Oh, I'm just going to grab some food over here. I'll be right back. And then he heads off towards where the food is.
Right. CV, you know that you can request a few supplies and stuff. If you want any mounts or like a wagon of sorts with these mounts. And if there's anything any stuff you want to bring, if you want to bring tents, sleeping bags type things. So,
is the journey? You said it was 3 days, right?
Yes, 3 days to get there.
Is that 3 days mounted or 3 days walking?
Walking.
Then we're walking.
You might be able to shave off a day with the mounts, unless you just want them to bring supplies with you, or nothing. You just carry whatever you carry.
Okay. So we'll use a mount. I want to hurry up and get rid of these people as quickly as possible. Anything that stops me from having to spend time with the heretics.
So you can request, 5 mounts.
Absolutely. And I'll even make sure that they get supplied up and it's all going to be small sized.
So each of these wagons, we said that they can hold 2 people. We'll say they can hold 2 small people. They can fit 1 person, 1 medium size. Now, do you get a wagon, any additional supplies, or just whatever they have is what they have?
Water, skins, rations, a couple of sacks, backpack, bedroll.
So instead of a wagon, they outfit each of the striders with the equivalent of a saddlebag, I guess, and it's a little basket that goes off the back of them, and it's sort of like almost like a counterweight as well with the basket saddle in front, and in it has some extra supplies, some feed for these creatures as well, and anything else you might need. So, is there anything else any of you would like to do? I know, just waiting. I guess you're mostly waiting for Coffinix to finish eating.
Awesome.
Nothing else, and you guys were escorted to these creatures. You saw them a bit from a distance, and you haven't seen anything like it back home. But you're each given one of these creatures. They're outfitted. Oh, Chris, so I'll just go over quickly. There's like a basket type saddle, and then off the back is another little basket that's almost like a counterbalance that has just some extra supplies, feed bag and stuff in there. Extra stuff, but you know that there's a lot of stuff you can get outside as well. You got tents and a sleeping bag in there in each of them. Unless there's something you were going to request specifically, I guess we'll move on then. So you guys travel out now. CV, do you direct them to the site where that you found Isleen, or do you bypass it?
I'm pretty sure I've been directed to show them that, so I will lead them there. Coming upon the scene, I will pull up short, pick my hands back up, look at them, look over there.
So he shows you off. It's an open area with some rocks and stuff, and it looks like there was a scene here. There are a few remains of that have been picked apart by scavengers, maybe 2 or 3 bodies. There doesn't look like there's much in the way of anything you can see there, anything that could be scavenged for you. And it looks pretty much how you remember it. Well, a little more gruesome, Isleen, but it's the same area you were out there. You somehow bypassed the encampment. You went off in a slightly different direction, and you ended up here. And this is where you were attacked by those undead creatures.
I start looking around kind of nervously, like concerned we're going to run into more of the same.
Roll. Actually, let me get these numbers. I forgot to grab them before. And Chris, AC and passive perception. Everyone can put them in the chat. Then I'll just copy them from there. But you can roll a perception check if you want, Isleen.
My check is 11.
You don't notice anything. Maybe some animals. Some like animal sounds in maybe some of the further in behind some foliage or something.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, you heard some animal sounds over maybe some foliage, maybe a few 100 feet there. Nothing really too distinctive.
Okay. So I keep my eye on those bushes.
Chris, your passive perception would be 10 plus your wisdom mod plus any skill that you might have in it. So, is anyone else going to be doing anything?
I mean, Subject X is constantly kind of like scanning the environment, keeping a lookout. Half curiosity, half wariness, you know. But otherwise, yeah.
Stevie, can you roll an investigation? I'm thinking, or actually, just what would your passive investigation be? Okay, so Subject X will look around that whole area with his hand, their hand outstretched, and surveying all of the site of this battle. Does Cacophonix do anything?
Just, kind of looking around, kind of tapping his leg, making a new beat. He's not really paying much attention. Kind of is, but not really. He leaves that up to the Subject X to do most of it.
See, Connor, can I get an investigation check from Subject X?
12.
You look around everything I described. It looks like maybe there's 2, maybe 3 bodies that are being that were picked upon by some scavengers. You think you see remnants of some clothing that look like they might have been from your community. Something, maybe similar materials that is different from at least what you've seen with the Valois have. But nothing that you can see that's immediately useful or important stands out. It looks like everything was probably taken by the Valois when they rescued your allies.
Yeah, Subject X still kind of take a knee and just completely, look at these bodies and like these scraps of clothing, and just like analyzing every possible detail about this scene.
Now, is there anything visible aside from you sticking out your hand? Is there any?
I imagine like a weird purple kind of cone, kind of like absorb, like kind of flushing it with like this weird light.
Okay, CV, you're pretty sure that is probably magical in nature of whatever that armored being is doing with their hand. But you've seen them a few times with it already, and you're pretty sure that is something magical about is it a gem or something, Connor?
Yeah, it's like a gem inset into my gauntlet in the palm. And it kind of like shines like a kind of like a dull flashlight, if that makes sense. There's a weird purple light. It kind of floods whatever it's pointed at, and it's like it would move like this little spotlight over objects very slowly by moving the hand. And
my eyes are locked onto you.
You're
And
pretty
like-
sure it's
Yeah,
magic, but you
uh,
have no idea what that creature is doing.
Yeah, and so I'd use this little kind of gem to kind of like cover every square inch of like the scene. Kind of, you know, taking very in-depth analysis, essentially, investigation what happened. So whether or not it's useful information now is the real question. But after kind of subject X feels like, you know, they're done, they've adequately, you know, scanned essentially everything. They kind of get up and return back to the group. Silent as always. No emotion in their eyes.
So, Cacophonix, while he's, you know, kind of in his own little head a little bit, he kind of comes back to reality. And that's when he notices that there's like bodies. And he kind of looks over at Swifter Than Swords. And he just knows what Swifter is thinking. Like, why are these bodies still on the ground? And so, you know, kind of to show a little bit of respect and, you know, kind of a thanks for the other day, Cacophonix is going to gesture towards where one of the bodies is and kind of opens up a pit in the ground. He's going to mold the earth so that there's a hole that the body can be rolled into and we can bury it.
Okay, CV. While you're studying the weird light, you're a little confused. You don't know. Maybe it isn't magic. It's not flashy enough, I guess. Visible. Maybe it's just a strange light, but you still have no clue what that armored being is doing. But you do notice the earth give way under one of the bodies. Now, you can roll an investigation for that and see if you know if that might be magic.
13.
Since you know that they do you're thinking that they do have magical abilities, that you saw the earth give way, and none of them seem entirely surprised, and Cacophonix is standing right there with his hand outstretched, was it, Karen? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, kind of doing little like digging actions, like you
Now,
know, kind of spread the.
what are the components? Is it verbal?
Just somatic.
Just
Just
somatic. Oh,
yeah.
so Cacophonix is doing these strange motions, and dirt is disappearing from underneath, and looks like the bodies are falling like into, I guess it's a 5-foot hole underneath them.
Immediately, I leap off the mount and run over to the body and dive into the hole to retrieve the body as quickly as I can.
Into one of the sort of skeletal remains of one of the, let's say, party members of the group that you saved.
At this point, me desecrating bones is less offensive than what he is doing to them, and I am literally throwing them out of this pit. To me, it's a pit.
Is he making a lot of noise in that action?
Oh, you were probably. It's right nearby. So most of you probably went up there closer. He stayed back, and then now he's came running up, jumped in a pit, and he's tossing bodies parts out.
What are you doing? Stop.
Those are our friends. What are you doing?
We've got to bury them.
Anything like that is heresy, deceiving.
Not to us. And there are people. We should be able to do with our dead as our customs dictate, not yours.
Where are you from? You from City World?
Do we look like we're from CV World?
No, you
Exactly.
don't look from CV World. CV, here, those things you fight, because of magic. You do that here, you very well could bring up more of them.
They're attracted to magic?
No, they're created by it. Magic broke the world. And I'm still just digging.
I try to
Last thing
grab
CV want is to have to kill your friend again.
I try to grab you and pull you away.
You want to roll for it, or you just want to role play it? Both are good.
I mean, she's pretty weak, so
then CV will more than likely easily throw you off.
so I stumble, and he's so much stronger than he looks. Look at Cacophonix. Ah.
No, Cacophonix isn't going to put up with him desecrating our dead like this. He's going to go over to him and he's going to give him. You're in the pit, like
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll reach down, pick you up, and throw you out.
Okay, let's try opposed athletic checks to see if, or if you want, try acrobatics for CV.
Nope, I want athletics. It's an 18 on the dice.
Oh, I rolled 17.
That's a 20 total.
You try to pick him up, but somehow he resists you. Like he maybe digs his hands and feet into the side of this little pit.
I'll say, move, man, or I will bury you. And I'm going to intimidate him as I start to push the dirt into the pit.
That easily could work. No.
Okay, insight for CV.
Yeah, it's a 3 on the dice. I'm swinging for the fences or with them.
I've got an 11 for intimidate.
Now, CV, you're remembering that you are supposed to, like, you know that they cast magic. You're supposed to let them be for that and just assist them in this. And you think that that big one might be a bit of a problem if you push this.
Remembering that I'm also outnumbered,
Yes.
I will go back. I will climb my butt out of there. I will then glare you down from 2 feet below your head, maybe 3 feet below your head, and then walk back to my mount, hop up on it, and pull out my spear and just watch.
Okay, do the rest of you continue with the burial? Oh, just the two of you at least?
yeah. I think I don't know. I mean, what's left of these bodies? How bad is it? Is there something to drag or
There's
risk in that?
they're not picked 100% clean. There might still be some residual flesh, we'll say. And like what they couldn't pick off, it's only been maybe about a week, so they're not picked too clean. But Swifter does help. He says something. They may not have been Hob, but they deserve better than this. And he helps to carefully place them back into the holes.
Yeah, once they're all in the holes, I'll cover push the dirt back on top of them so they're all covered back up again.
Swifter will say something in Hob and a little. If anyone speaks Hob, it was more like a little prayer, I guess, over the dead.
As he does that, I just kind of bow my head and listen and, think about our fallen comrades.
And I'll pull out my my pamphlets and play kind of a bit of funeral dirge while he talks. Nice and somber.
Subject X is like paying no attention, or like paying no attention to this whole phenomenon. Just did the scanning and off to just standing still and just observing, kind of patiently, just like a statue, silent and still, over everything that's happening.
So as the three of you are performing the funeral rites, and X watches on, CV, you notice something off in the distance. You're on a little bit of a ridge, so you got a little bit of a higher vantage point, and there looks like there's some movement further on. It's a little hard to make out. You can't tell if it's a large group or not, or if they're animal or humanoid. But it looks probably in the direction that you're going to be headed. And so what do the rest of you do now that the moment of silence, a moment of prayer and silence are done?
I'll return back to my mount, and I'm back to watching that area that I thought I heard animals.
You can roll a perception check.
No. Ooh, good roll. 21.
You look around.
Yes, that's good.
In that area, you don't see much. Whatever was there might have moved on, or maybe you guys scared it away with your noise. But as you're headed back onto your strider, you do see further down in the direction you think you were heading, since you don't know exactly. There looks like there's a small group of creatures. You can't make out at this distance. They're maybe a day away. You can see some of the dust being disturbed as they are moving by. Not terribly fast like a horse would, but maybe someone, if it was a humanoid, maybe running or moving quickly. A small group, but you don't know. Somewhere between maybe 5, 10. You're not certain. Rough numbers.
What is that? Do you guys see that? I look at Civvy. Civvy, are you aware of that?
CV sees it.
What do you think of it?
Out here, there's no way of knowing. We'll have to get closer for us to know.
I look at Swifter Than Swords. Not exactly comforting, is he?
He shrugs and gets onto his strider. So is everyone... Cacophonix, you think you might see some dust, but you don't know if it's what it is. it could be anything from this distance out. And X, you don't see. You don't see anything, or you don't know what they're pointing out to. Maybe your helmet is obscuring your vision.
These thick goggles, yeah, they're hard to see through. So,
does everyone mount up, or do you have a different plan of attack?
Subject X is getting ready to mount up, just completely, oblivious as to what is going on around them. I imagine like this Strider thing would probably like shudder out the weight of Subject X if it's kind of trained and accustomed to bear small light humanoids. Subject X weighs like 5 to 10 times as much as these little Voloi do. So probably just like this strange animal.
It's every time you get on, it does make a sound, like maybe like a equivalent, but it doesn't seem to get maybe a little surprised every time you get on, but it doesn't seem to be affected by it.
CV will be getting off of the mount and prepping the spear.
Prepping the...
Like, pulling it out of his saddle, setting it up. You watch him look at it, grips it tight, opens up his palm, and it sticks to his hand, gives it a good shake. And he's ready to start to be more defensive. But this is not something where I want to be caught on the Strider if it is something that we need to defend ourselves from.
Roll, CV, roll. I'm trying to think now.
Athletics.
What would be a good roll? It's an intelligence type check. History, or we'll go with history then.
18.
You do know you've not a lot of it's not maybe some of the higher ups know, and you've been privy to that information, that there are heretic Voloi who believe that magic wasn't the cause of the and that magic could possibly save and restore everything back, but that's heresy, and you know of them, but you don't. It's not openly talked about, but you are maybe higher up, and you have been privy to some talks.
Are they known to be in this area?
They are known to frequent more this area than more your civilized areas where your cities are and villages and stuff. But since it's just an encampment, there's not a lot of civilization out here. So you think there might be some of these heretics out here, and if those are humanoids, from what Isling is saying, then it's possible it could be them.
Okay. Then prepped, I will say, I'll let him know. You must be careful in these woods. This is there are more than the Belmorn. There are rebel Voloi, scum who have left the community. They are very dangerous. If you can fight, CV suggests you get ready for fight.
Duly noted.
The only thing that would even give you the hint that Subject X even heard you was the fact that their grip on their warhammer tightened when you said that. Otherwise, no other clue was given that they even heard you.
CV would have missed that completely.
Totally.
Okay, so do you guys head off in that direction? Well, does CV mount up and lead everyone in the direction?
If there's not a bigger show of preparing for fight and getting off the striders like I am, CV, climb back up, reset the spear, take his hand off of it, pull it away. All right, his hand comes off the spear. Great. Grabs the reins and starts to steer the long way around.
So you want to take a little longer route and try to get around them?
I've absolutely. I've only heard that these people are potential heretics as well, and some of them I have seen them confirm them as heretics, and I have not seen much more than purple flashing light and dirt move. I really don't know that they'll be able to do much to keep themselves alive, and my job was not to keep them alive.
Well, yeah, obviously Isleen doesn't look like she can hold herself in a fight. And you think Subject X has that big warhammer, and Cacophonix looks like he might be able to hold his own, but you don't know their actual combat ability. And it's either this magic has to be impressive for someone like Isleen, but then again, the last combat she was in, she didn't do well at all. So maybe there's not much to this magic, and it's not that powerful. So, unless you stop them, the striders that you're on sort of follow in behind CV's, taking a little more circular route to your destination, trying to avoid whatever that group of creatures is. And you make it pretty uneventful until you get to this your destination. There's no camps have been okay. There's been no issues, and you arrive to what looks it's a large cave entrance. And actually, it looks like there may have been. It's not actually around a natural cave entrance. It looks like it may have been carved out, at least 9-10 feet tall, almost like there might have been at one point a door or something in there. But the rest is all. It is a stone mountain face. Isleen, can you roll a perception check for me?
19.
As you approach, before you even get, you make out the opening, but as you get closer, you can see some markings that you think you understand from a distance here. It's pretty large, so you can make it out, and it looks like it is language you understand.
Great. So I will try to read them.
I think you might have to get a little closer.
All right. So I look at the group and probably at Cacophonix, and I say, I'm going to get up there closer. You want to join me? I want to read that. There's some stuff I think I can read, but don't exactly want my back exposed.
Well, unless you guys were stopping, I think everyone was headed. That's the direction CV was directing you to.
So yeah, I guess when we get close, I'll stop and get off my strider and take a closer look.
Okay, roll an investigation check, and X, what are you doing?
X is just following along on the strider, keeping kind of an eye out as much as X has been able to so far. Just being aware of just things happening, essentially.
What is CV doing once you get up to the entrance?
CV has his spear out and is since that's obviously a language I can't read, and they're walking up to it and looking at it, I'm just watching more of my back because I don't want to be surprised, but I'm also looking over my shoulder, checking on them.
Roll a perception check. And Cacophonix, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's getting off of the strider and getting out a sword, getting ready. This it's kind of looking like he's a little bit excited. I mean, this is a little bit of like home, and he didn't think he would be, but he was kind of missing it. So he's kind of anxious to get inside this little cave entrance.
Roll an investigation check as you approach the entrance there.
12.
Okay, let's just go through. Chris, what did Isleen get for investigation?
An 11.
You're having trouble. Some of it is either been worn away or chipped off. So while you can understand some of the words and letters, it really doesn't. It's out of context because it is a different language. Like it's not like certain words. They're not even complete words. Like you think you understand the language, but it's at this range now. You're realizing you can't make it out. Mm-hmm. X, what were you doing?
Just dismounting the strider and just kind of keeping an eye out to the surroundings.
Roll a perception check.
11.
Okay. You're looking around. You don't see or hear anything. It's a little dark inside the cave. And same with CV. You're distracted by all that. You're sort of maybe forced to follow to escort these people to this place.
Throwing me off, man.
Yeah, it's throwing you off. And Karen, what did Cacophonix get for the investigation?
Okay, 12.
You do see some similarities in the size of the opening to back home, but it could just be a coincidence. Like it is similar in size openings to the gate back home, but as I say, it just could be a coincidence. You're not versed in that unless you're not versed in that sort of information, and there's not a lot remaining of this entrance. And we are going to take a short recess. Maybe it's 5 minutes to 10. So we'll meet back about 5 after.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks, everyone who might be watching now or later. No one's watching now, but maybe someone will watch it later.
I'll watch it later, boss.
And some of us are back.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just waiting on Jim.
Onto the cave.
I think Jim might be back.
Yep. Jim is back.
Well, I'd like to start off with those fateful words. Roll for initiative.
All right. Let's see. Above 15 or lower than 3. That's what my night's been like. Oh, God. Please, above 15. Y'all, we're going to do some amazing things.
Woo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Huh.
So the order.
I've got the order except for the baddies.
Yes. Well,
Yeah. I like this fight. No bad guys in this one.
Yeah.
yeah, that's all right. You attack each other. No.
All right.
I win.
That darn Stevie, I knew he was no good.
Yep. He's actually
You know
holding
what?
this whole one.
Me too. I totally knew it.
All right. CV and X against Isling and Cacophonics. X was a traitor too. No.
Well, probably.
All right. So you guys are
Pitiful.
not paying much attention to what's. Wow. This might take a while. I decided to roll randomly and rolled 2 6s on 2d6. And you guys, let's see.
Okay.
CV, while you're looking ever so vigilantly, you're looking around and for any signs of danger. And 5 spears come at you. And let's see if how many of them hit you. Wow. I forgot that dice rolls bad. The highest I rolled was an 11 on the dice.
All right. Thank you.
So 5 spears hit you, but somehow, like, some miss you completely. Some hit you, but you shrug it off. It's like they don't stick in you, but they sort of like slice you, but it doesn't bother you one bit.
Sounds great. Keep it up.
You're not
Oh,
wearing
man.
any armor, but for some reason, you guys, if you do see this, he looks like he got hit with some spears, but he didn't flinch one bit. And let's see. Isling, another spear comes at you. Oh, I'm sorry. That one on the dice was a 17. So
No, you're supposed to use the same dice.
I am using the same dice. This is the new one I got when almost a year ago in Hawaii. It's been rolling bad for me, but that 17 is the first good number in a while. You get hit from while you're trying to decipher the broken message on that you read. You get hit by a spear,
Ah,
and it does 1 point of damage.
where did that come from? Ah,
Oof. X, you're ever so vigilant, and you get hit for 1 point by a spear, totally unknown to you.
Oh.
ouch.
Hold on. And another one flies past subject X. But another one, so just one moment, the dog wants to get out. You get hit for 1 point of damage as a spear hits you. Let's see, how many is that? That was 5, 6, was that 9? I think, yeah. Oh, another one hits you, Isling, for 1 point. Another one misses you, Isling. You look like a target. That's easy to hit, but they're not. Another one misses you. So, Cacophonix, you're the one didn't even get one on you at all.
It's my fancy footwork dancing moves.
And that was a surprise round. And let's see. One point on another spear hits. This one actually connects with CV.
Right up. Do you know what the AC is on that one?
Oh,
Oh, I don't have reactions yet. I haven't had to take a turn. Forget it.
yeah, that just hits you right on your. Hold on a second.
Oh my.
That one flies past. Next round. I'm switching dice. Isleen, one flies past you. And actually, he's not here yet. But let's write that down. So, Connor, if you can keep track, Swifter Than Swords takes a point of damage.
Okay.
CV takes a point. Let's see how many. I think that was 4, 5. I can't. I think Swifter will take another.
Okay.
I'm guessing on his AC, but I'm rolling high for him, so I don't think he has high. I think he only has a 15. Pass subject X. Okay, this one is a hit, and it is CV. And I lost track, so we'll say it's an 8. I don't think it was more than that. Oh boy. Subject X, you take a point.
Oh my.
One goes a mile off of Isleen. No, that's a miss on X. And I think that should be it. I'll leave that. And so all of a sudden, you guys get bombarded with spears flying everywhere. Surprisingly, Cacophonix has stepped into the cave, probably saying, "This looks a little like home," and somehow missed every single. None of them came anywhere near him. And everyone else just got hit with all these different spears. So now there's a whole bunch of spears all on the ground, or some of them might be sticking out of you. Well, probably they weren't well made spears. Spears is probably a bit of a stretch. They were like sharpened sticks that were thrown at you. And welcome, Jason.
What's up?
So quick recap. So Jason is playing Swifter Than Swords, a monk-like character who looks a little orcish with some tattoos.
Kind of like that.
You got hit for how many points was that?
2 points of
Jesus.
damage.
2? Yeah. So you got hit for 2 points of damage. You guys, well, quick recap. You met, you were escorted here by CV Sunderdrome. He seems to hate everybody in the group. He's about 3 foot tall Valoy, not wearing any armor, but he has a spear.
Nice.
And you rode on some striders.
Yeah.
To see where Isleen and her party was attacked. Yes, there was another party that was sent out here, and it is someone that you know.
Okay.
And you were checking out the campsite, the scene of the battle, and Cacophonix started digging a hole magically.
Ooh.
He had jumped inside and started tossing the bodies out that were going in the hole, and a little bit of an altercation, but he relented and let you finish your burial.
Nice.
And basically now you're at a cave entrance, and it is slightly reminiscent. It's about the same size as maybe where the gate to your community is, but could just be superficial. It's it's about, what did I say, 10 feet tall.
Okay.
So everyone was trying to pay awesome attention, and nobody noticed that you were ambushed.
Oh, geez.
And a bunch of these makeshift spears just pelted everyone but Cacophonix. So he stepped inside of the cave. So if you could roll initiative, and we'll see where to place you in the order.
That's a natural 20, so a 22.
Well, you didn't notice them, but you were going to act first now. They will just fit you in. You actually go ahead of them, but we'll just say we'll squeeze you in right now. So they managed to get all these shots on you.
Okay, and they're coming from the direction of the cave mouth, you said?
No, they were from outside, and now you are essentially more or less in melee range, or within within a short distance of 12. 12. You think they are Voloi, but they are not dressed the same as CV. CV, you do not consider them Voloi. He probably says heretics or something. And they are dressed in just ratty clothing and stuff, nothing too nice. And they're attacking you. So
okay. All right.
A lot of the makeshift spears seem to be directed at CV and Isling, with the few on you and X and stuff. But Isling looks like she's an easy target.
Gotcha. Check something right quick. Okay. So are any of them within 5 feet of me? Or you said they were close but not within melee range?
Let's say that 3 of them are in melee range of you now.
Okay. All right. So after getting hit by these makeshift spears and seeing that these creatures are clearly not friendly, Swifter Than Sword sort of takes a moment and he focuses, and then he opens his eyes, and I'm going to need dexterity saving throws from all 3 creatures within 5 feet of me, please. DC is 11. I think you're muted there.
Sorry. I rolled all 3. Just the dice rolls were all over 11.
Really?
Yeah.
That's disappointing. All right. So the group would see these like yellow swords of energy kind of streak out of the ground from Swifter Than Swords, but they completely miss these creatures. And I guess what he'll do is he'll just snap out one of his fists at the nearest one as a bonus action for his monk martial arts. So you even hit one of these things. It's not great. Let me see. Let's see. Does a 14 hit?
Yes, you do hit.
Awesome. All right. So we'll roll that. All right, and that's going to be 4 points of damage as he just kind of lashes out at the nearest one with this kind of sloppy roundhouse, only because he's startled that his spell didn't work. And then he'll just sort of fall back into a defensive stance, and that'll end my turn.
So how many?
4.
4. Okay. Okay, and so now would be CV.
How far away are they from me?
We'll say there's 6 within melee range of you.
Okay. Swifter Than Swords won't totally understand this yet, but you do hear CV gets big. And all of a sudden, CV stands about 8 feet tall and lashes out with that spear. All of a sudden, that CV get big goes CV get big. And it's an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Cool. And I'll take it. 12 points of piercing to him. To one of them.
Wow, you lay one into him. He It looks like it almost takes him out. Looks like he's just barely standing.
He's still standing?
Yeah, he's still standing, and he's like screams in pain. Maybe a few
Right.
curses in your language directed at you.
Okay. And that'll be it.
All right, X. You are within melee range if you want to be, of 6 of them.
Yeah. Subject X is gonna kind of have a stance, gonna plant their feet in the ground and use this anchoring to heft this heavy warhammer and just smash, wielding it in both hands and crunching them in the side of the face. That'd be an 18 to hit.
That hits.
11 damage.
Well, your warhammer crushes one on the side, but it looks like he, even though he screams in pain, he looks like he's still conscious, but just barely.
And just Axe just kind of is in this battle stance, whatever. Completely silent and emotionless.
All right,
That's my turn.
Isling.
So how close is Cacophonix to me?
He's within arm's reach. He's probably right next to you.
So I get behind him and I start to form a spell, kind of whispering the words, and in my hand, this kind of blue-green light, similar to my outfit, rises up and forms these little darts. And then I just go whoosh. And so 3 little darts shoot out. One targeting the one that CV seems to have damaged really well, and one targeting the one that X targeted, or seems to have wounded, and then one to whoever's closest to either of those.
I'm guessing those are magic missiles.
Yep.
Okay,
So
first target.
First one's a 3.
And the second one?
A 3.
The
Third
first one goes down. Second one, it's still hanging on, but he is screaming in pain and speaking to you. Don't understand what he's saying, but he's saying stuff, a lot of things right now. Yep. How many shots did you have?
3. So the final one's a 2.
And he goes down.
And that's it for me.
Do you want to describe what? So you said they fly and hit them.
Yeah. So they look like little blue green darts, and they just go thunk, 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 and just finish them off.
CV, that's magic. You don't have to roll for that. You're pretty sure that that's magic what she's doing. Okay, Cacophonix.
Knowing my perception, I probably am too focused fighting to realize that that's what just happened.
Oh, it was right. The target you just hit.
Yeah.
A little dart hit it in the chest, and he fell over.
Oh. Okay.
Little splash of sparkly energy and stuff. It's like, yeah, that's probably magic. And Cacophonix, it seems like there's something going on outside.
Yeah, so Cacophonix was oblivious to the spears, but the sound of Civi saying "Civi get burned" kind of spins him around. Plus, Isling kind of going behind him. He kind of turns around to see what's going on, and he sees this huge huge Veloy, and he's like, "Savvy, my man, where you been hiding?" Like, that's awesome. And then he turns and looks at the rest of these. How many creatures are left? Whole bunch?
10.
Okay. Yeah. So he's gonna start swearing at one of them and calling him this, like, I'm assuming they're short, right? They're fairly tiny. You know, there's Munchkin and a bunch of expletives, and you know, your mother was Harry and all this stuff. Casting Vicious Mockery. So he needs to make a Wisdom saving throw. DC 13.
Nat 20.
Yeah, okay. So
The same dice. I decided not to change it.
and then as a bonus action, I'd like to give Swifter a Bardic die.
Is that a D6 at level 1?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
Chris, from what I remember, it's more like they're acquaintances. You were allowed to research, look at some of their texts or something to research. So you've met that way at a Temple of the Pure.
That's right. Thank you for that reminder.
But it's interesting. I can't remember Josh's character, but since he hasn't even joined us yet, you're the only two connections in the group, and it's acquaintances. Okay, so back up to the top, Swifter. Yes, you see some magic flying from behind you, around you, and hitting other targets. Not yours. Yours is the first one that you hit, still standing.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, Swifter's been traveling with the group, so he knows that they encountered Isleen. So I think he'd be at least somewhat aware of what she can do. Also, magic, like you said, is very common in Sanctuary. So I think he would just sort of focus on the nearest one and just lash out with his short sword, just like a quick stabbing motion. That's cocked. A 16 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
All right. And that's going to be 4 points of, I think that's piercing damage. 4 points of piercing damage as he kind of lunges forward and stabs it. Is it still up?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So he kind of stabs it with his sword, and then he just sort of clenches his left fist and just rabbit punches it in the face, or tries to. That's a 14 to hit.
Hits.
And let's see, 3 points of bludgeoning damage as he just kind of punches him in the face right between the eyes.
You look like you've been wearing him down, but he's still standing.
All right.
Just barely.
Sounds good. And Swifter will just call, just like, these creatures, they are much tougher than they look.
And it looks at you. It says something. Doesn't sound very nice.
Probably not.
I understand it, right?
Yes. You probably don't want to repeat what he said.
Gotcha.
And you take 1 point of damage from that one. Let's see. Another point. So you've taken a total of 3 points, as 5 of them around you just attack you with. They look like not stone, but maybe almost glass, a really rough glass dagger type thing, as a knife or something, as they stab you. So you take 3 points total. And
which one of us does?
Swifter.
Okay.
Isleen. No, Isleen, you're hiding behind there. So we'll say that's X. You get hit with one of these rusty daggers. Somehow it finds a chink in your armor, and you take 1.
Ouch.
And Cacophonix, you look like you're a bit of a target now. Actually, no. They're not worried about you. They haven't even. They may not have even seen you because you attacked from a distance, and they see CV. CV, you take 1. So 2 points total of damage as these little daggers stab you in the legs.
Okay.
And CV, what are you going to do with these little pinpricks that you got?
Swinging for the fences, going for him again. Me and my spear. And none of them around me now are damaged, correct?
Yeah, let's say they're all full health around you.
Cool. Sweet. I adopt another stance, and you watch that as the fight continues. I'm starting to bat away some of the stabs that get a little too close to me, and that's 18 on the dice.
That hits.
Sweet. That's going to be 13 points.
Oh, so close.
Oh! Wish I could.
Yeah, it looks like you gave him a good one. It's a mortal wound. He might eventually die from it, but he's still standing.
Great. Yeah, that's what I got right now.
Okay, X.
There's still one in front of me that's injured but not dead, right? When I hit last turn?
No, that one was killed. Isleen killed
That's
one
right,
in front
that's
of you.
Yeah.
But there are others in front of you that are perfectly healthy.
Yeah, I'm gonna just again swing for the fences here with this large warhammer.
Unless you want to hit the one in front of Swifter or the one in front of CV. You're within range.
Yeah, I'll attack the one in front of Swifter. This is my warhammer. I got 24 to hit for
Hits.
6 points of bludgeoning damage.
You finish that one off. Looks, you sent him flying into the side of the cliff face there, the mountain there, to the rock, and you can hear some bones breaking. Anything else you're going to do on your turn?
X just kind of just gives a look, like a dead, like a look, but like an emotionless look to Swifter after, getting that guy off his back.
And Swifter will immediately say, "Focus on the battle abomination," and looked at the next enemy.
Okay, so what is Isleen going to do?
Since looks like X and Swifter are doing a great job of working together, Isleen forms another 3 darts and sends them after whatever's whatever's around CV. And she'll pick one that's maybe closing in since he seems pretty capable.
So we'll say you hit the one that's in front of CV, take it out again, and you hit the another one that's coming up on CV for how much? For 2.
See. So we've got 4.
Okay, and the second one on that, well, the third
Another
one total.
4.
All right.
And another 2.
I thought you hit. Well, so you hit the first one. How many? You have 3 darts.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2 you hit the. We'll say you hit the first one, you killed it because I know you do minimum 2 damage, and the next 2 were 4 and 4, 8.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
You look like you took a big chunk out of him.
Sweet.
Let's see.
And that's it for me. I'll start. Yeah. That's it.
And Cacophonix.
So Cacophonix is going to glance towards Swifter. Is he looking like he's doing okay, or is he? He's hurting bad.
He's pretty rough. I mean, I'd say he's bruised and bleeding from a couple of places.
So Catholics is going to say, have strength, my brother, and he's going to cast Healing Word on the Swifter. So you get 5 points of healing.
Well, just to let you know, you could also, you're not that far away from him. If you wanted to, I don't know if you have Cure Wounds, if you wanted to do that instead. No? Okay.
I don't have that one. Yeah. So my bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word, and then I'm going to immediately turn and look at one of the ones that's on Swifter, and I'm going to basically say, yell at him that he fights like a pixie. That spear is worth nothing, and I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery at it on him. So DC 13 Wiz save.
I'm sorry, but this dice is doing well now. 15 on the dice are modified. So, so somehow they have no idea what you're saying. So it doesn't seem to affect them. And Swifter, you just got healed for a bit, and everyone keeps taking out your targets with magic.
So how many are around me right now?
We'll say 2.
Okay. So hearing Cacophonix call him brother and then heal him with magic, he kind of glances back at him and just sort of nods, looking a little confused, and then he's going to swing. He's going to swing his short sword at the nearest one. That's a 13, but I'm going to add the inspiration real quick. That'll hit. That's an 18.
Let's say you don't need take the dice back. So 13 hits.
Oh, okay. Oh, the 13 hits? Okay. That was a 14 hit. Anyway. And, all right. So that is 7 points of piercing damage as kind of lunges forward and slices this creature across the stomach. Is it still up?
Actually, let's just say you hit the one in front of X and you take it out.
Nice. Okay, so he kind of cuts it on the stomach and it just sort of disembowels it. And then, is there anyone else within 5 feet? You said there was one more, I think? Okay. And then with his sword kind of extended, he snaps it to the side, blood kind of flying everywhere. And then he snaps a side kick out at the other one. And that is a natural 20. So, let's see. That is going to be 3 plus 2. So that is 5 points of bludgeoning damage as his foot kind of connects with this creature's stomach.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right, then. They're not looking like their numbers are almost down by half from a rough guess. Let's see. First one, let's see. The one that's in front of Swifter. As he's coming to lunge at you, you give him you hit him, and you take the wind out of him, and he misses you completely. And another one moves up and whiffs again. So let's see. And 2 come on to X. And one of them connects for 1 point of damage. And the other 2 poke their little toy weapons on the giant Vlorn. And one of them just grazes you and just misses, actually hits you, but you don't feel it. So next is CV.
Hearing Swifter than Swords just call the abominations, rallies his spirit and he and CV smiles and with gusto has one of those really dangerous and potentially painful ideas that he sometimes comes up with, and he takes the disengage action. He will move to behind them, literally, so that the party is near the cave. There's all of these heretics, and I've moved behind them. And then I am going to shout out, "Heretics, you're attacking those you love! Come at CV!"
As you move around them, you take 2 points of damage. Some of them, you
I used my disengage action.
Oh, sorry. Use the disengage. Sorry. So you say that in. Well, you have to say that in their language, in your language. Sorry. So the party members don't understand what you just said.
All they hear is more shouting in another language. And I'm making a point to go. You're like, you want to hurt them? I see that, but I want to hurt you, and I'm trying to draw their attention, pointing out those are magic users. I'm not. Come at me.
Roll. I'll give you either an intimidation or persuasion if you want.
It's the same thing either way.
Okay.
Do we have any inspiration? Because I'd like to use it.
Actually, I'll give you advantage.
Thank you. Because one of those says 1. The other one, however, says 19. So it's a total of 18. I needed that.
It looks like they all turn their attention to you.
Bring it.
They might seem to be a little more, well, you know why, but they seem to be a little more pissed at you for some reason.
I'm fine.
All right. X.
Warhammer time. I approach the next one and smash it. Oh, wow. So 21 to hit for 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
You hurt one pretty bad. He was already wounded, and he's not looking too good.
Yeah.
All right. Isleen. There's one that's really hurt, and then the rest seem pretty hardy and hale.
So I'm gonna go after the hail one. Much like before, you see this object, appear hovering over her hand, but this time it's longer and it looks something like a crossbow bolt with like blue flames trailing off, and she shoots it at one, and it's a 10 to hit. Pretty sure that's a miss.
Oh, that's a miss.
And that's it.
Okay. All right, Cacophonix. He talks to talk, but let's see if he actually can do anything.
So CV moved around. He's now behind them, right? And my guys are still in bat, like melee with them, right?
We'll say no. Like mechanically, yes, but they're not. It's almost like they've disengaged, but not really. Like they're not actively attacking your party right now.
Okay, what I would like to do is approach so I'm closer, and I'd like to cause the earth to tremor underneath the creatures that are moving towards CV. I'm going to cast Earth Tremor. They all get to make a Dex saving throw, and on a failed save, they'll take bludgeoning damage and will be knocked prone.
Is it a certain area?
Yeah, it doesn't actually say area. I'm trying to figure out. My range is 10 feet. So that's why I want to come up closer. And then it just says, you cause a tremor in the ground within range. Each creature other than you in that area must make a dex save.
Trying to remember, it's the first level spell?
Yeah. Earth tremor, it's in Xanathar's.
Okay, you know what, where is it? I know I have it.
Yeah,
Okay,
according to the D&D Beyond, yeah, it just says 10-foot range. That's it. It's weird.
well, I think it's probably only a 5-foot or 10-foot.
Well, it says, so if the ground in that area is loose earth or stone, it becomes difficult terrain until cleared, with each 5-foot diameter portion requiring at least 1 minute to clear by hand. So it almost sounds like multiple 5-foot diameter portions. I could be wrong, though. It's weird wording.
It is really weird.
Sorry, that's Tremors?
Earth tremor.
It's in Xanathar's?
Page
Sorry,
155.
Earth Tremor.
Yeah.
Range is 10 feet. Cause a tremor in the ground within range. Each creature other than you in that area. Okay, so it looks like it's around you. Within a 10-foot range around you. So that's...
okay. Yeah, I could see that. In which case, I'd like to go in front of my people.
Okay, so you move up 10 feet, and we'll say you capture... Somehow, you managed to... let's see. We'll say you got 5. That's a lot, but we'll say you got 5. So they all have to roll a saving throw?
Yeah, a dex saving throw, DC 13.
All right, 3 of them fail.
Okay, so they will take 5 points of bludgeoning damage and will be knocked prone.
1 dies. And you said 5 points?
Yeah.
And so yeah, so 1 of them dies and 2 are knocked prone.
Yeah. Okay. And now I'm in the middle of them all, so I will put up my attack stats.
I forget, do you have a weapon? Melee weapon?
Sorry, I muted. I have a longsword.
Did you pull that out? Or
Yeah. It was when I got off the striders.
okay, we're back up. Swifter.
Alrighty. Are any of the prone creatures within 5 feet of me?
No, they're you have to move up to them, but they're not that far away. So
Okay. Can Swifter Than Swords move in such a way that he stays within 5 feet of the ones that are currently attacking him, but can he reach the other ones, the ones that are prone, or no? Basically without taking an op attack and without disengaging.
let's say sure you can get within range. So you move with no problem, and you get close to those prone ones.
Okay, so he kind of like darts around as quickly as he can, his vestments sort of flapping as he moves, and he's going to swing at one of the prone guys. That's going to hit, and that's natural 20, so we'll do that. All right, so that is with the short sword. So he kind of like wheels his short sword around, kind of stabs down with both hands. Let's see.
Is it advantage? When
Yes, I rolled.
Okay.
6 plus the dice roll is 7, so 2. So that's going to be 9 points of piercing damage with the short sword to one of the prone ones.
You've almost. He looks like he's just barely hanging on.
Okay. So and then Swifter is going to kind of wrench his sword out of this creature. And he just sort of glares at it and says, remember, this was your doing. And then he's going to do like an axe kick down on top of this thing for a bonus. Pretty sure it's not going to hit, though. It was a 6. Yeah, 10 doesn't hit, so he misses.
No. Let's see. With the remaining 6, four of them, and surprisingly, it's not the injured ones. The 4 healthy ones actually disengage and run away. At this point, the 2 injured ones that are prone. Actually, no, one of the.
Do any of those that disengage go within 10 feet of me?
Okay, hold on a moment. Sorry, one of the prone ones gets up and moves a short distance away. So let's just say, yes, you get an attack. You want to attack an injured one or a healthy one?
I want to attack a healthy one.
Okay, so Swifter, you get an attack on an injured one.
Okay. That'll hit with a 17. And that is 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Nice.
All right. How much damage do you do?
Oh, this is nasty.
Yes.
I nearly rolled max damage on this. How do you do critical hits?
Oh, you do maximum damage plus the dice rolls again.
Oh. Okay. So 29 piercing.
Well, there was something there.
Literally, this guy decides to run off, and you watch as spear right through the side of his head as he runs off. It goes down, and then the spear just gets rammed into the ground, so his head is still pinned sideways. And I'm going to leave the spear there for the moment.
And I'll give X an opportunity attack as well.
Hammer time. That's a hit. 24 for 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
You take out the one that stood up and tried to run away. And I'm going to say, so one got away entirely and the other 2 died. No. Yeah, one got away and 2 died, the ones who tried to get away. That leaves, for some strange reason, the one who was barely hanging on tries to attack Swifter. That's a hit for 1 point of damage. And the next one will hit, we'll say it hits X. No, it doesn't hit X. And the last one hits CV for 1 point of damage. Yes, but Swifter went up to them and they hit them from behind. So
yeah.
But there's only one who's barely hanging on and 2 more that are at full health, and 1 full health ran away. So that puts. I can't remember the initiative. Yep, CV.
So CV will. Let's see. Swifter, are you still bruised and bloodied?
No. After Cacophonix is healing, he's not looking too bad.
Oh, okay, cool. Then CV will start running toward one of them who looks like they need a beating.
So there's two that are within range and one who's running away.
Within range like 10 or within range like 5?
We'll say 10.
Awesome. Then as I come moving forward toward him, I reach back behind me, grab that spear out of the guy's head. You watch his head come off the ground a little bit, then thunk as the spear comes back over, spin, and I'm going for the big stab. Here's hoping that the narrating first does not make me roll a 1. 15. So I will get I'll get a 20.
All right, you take another one out, one hit.
That's only going to be this time 11 points of damage.
Oh, sorry, 11. It was 20 to hit. Sorry, 11. Yeah, he hurts. He's hurting pretty bad.
Good luck to them. And from there, yeah, I'm gonna stay right there and continue to bear down on them, hoping I'm blocking the sun.
All right, X, you have one in front of you, barely hanging on, and one a little further away, also just barely hanging on, and then there's one at full health and one running away.
I'm gonna go with the one that's like right in my face at low health. 21 to hit and 7 bludgeoning damage.
1 hit point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm done.
Are you going to move closer to the other one?
Yeah, I'll just advance and just like I want to have like I want to intimidate him, but like not using words, just like the fact that I just slew his brother or whatever, and I'm this giant walking piece of metal essentially as I bear down on the next guy.
Okay, sure. I'll give you an intimidation check on this one who's badly injured.
Never mind. I got a total of 5.
5? No. Let's see. Well, I have to roll. No, he's pretty resolved.
I'm done my turn.
Okay, Isleen. So there's one nearby that is barely hanging on, another one a little further away at full health, and one running off.
So I produce yet another flaming bolt. And let's see what happens first. Oh, yes. Okay, I rolled a nat 20 finally. So I shoot a firebolt at it. I need to read my
D10 damage.
So I need, where's my tens? So, and you said max plus the roll?
Yes, so 10 plus whatever you roll.
So it's 17.
I will, you feel very confident that you want to attack the healthy one.
Yes.
And he dies. So all that's left in front of you is one badly injured and one running off. So let's try Cacophonix.
How far away is the one that's running off?
We'll say he's not that, he's only about 30 feet. He just started running last time. Actually, yeah, because he probably would have. No, they ran 60 feet. So from you, we'll say about 80.
Okay, I'm going to move 20 feet. Well, I'm going to move 30 feet in his direction. And then while I'm yelling, you yellow-bellied pixie, come back here and fight. I'll cut your legs off. And I'm going to try a vicious mockery.
For some reason, he understands the meaning of what you just said. natural 1.
Yay.
So, so you modified its. So how much damage does it do?
He takes 3 points of psychic damage, and he has disadvantage on his next attack. Which he's not doing because he's running away.
You see him stumble a bit, and maybe he fell down, looks a little scared, and he's trying to run off still. And Swifter, there's the one right near you who looks badly injured, and then the one running off.
How far is the one running off?
From you, about 60 feet.
All right, too far. All right, so Swifter is going to swing his short sword at the injured one. And that is a 14 to hit. And 6 points of piercing damage. Is he still up?
Nope, he's down. And no valid targets.
No valid targets.
Within range, that is.
Yeah. All right. So then he's just gonna use the rest of his turn to sort of move in the direction of the one that's running off, just sort of running as quickly as he can. I can move about 30 feet, so I'm not sure how close. I guess I'm about 30 feet away from him now.
You're 30 feet away, and he moves another 60. So,
Okay.
So he's 90 away from you. Now, CV, are you going to pursue?
It depends if they're within 35 feet.
No, he's a lot more than that.
Then I am.
Actually, if you double move, you could throw, if you have a ranged attack, or you could throw your spear, move up. You could double, you could single move and try and throw your spear. I'll say you're within range. I forget how the range is on it.
It's 2060. It's not going to be close enough if I move.
Well, you could go and take disadvantage if you want. And shoot at long range.
You know what? No. I am going to just full move to him. And let's see, make sure I don't have to switch anything.
So he was about, we'll say about less than 90 feet, and you just moved, you said 35 double, so 70.
No, I'm 35 is with my reach. I can move 50 and reach 65 right now.
So you're 65 closer, and he was about, he's within range, but obviously,
Now, if he's 90 feet away from me, I'll never catch him.
well, you were a little closer, so you were probably closer to, we'll say 60, and you just went 65, you said, or no?
No, I can move 50 feet, and
50 feet. Okay, so you moved 50, he's 10 feet away from you, but
and I have reach 10.
but you did a double move?
Yep.
Okay,
So
so
he's gonna have to disengage. So I'll either get him next round. Well, I'm going to get him next round no matter what.
yes.
Or he can just try to run away and let me swing at him.
X, do you want to try to hit him? I don't know if you have a ranged attack.
He's what, like 90 some feet away from me?
Yeah, about 90 feet away from you.
Yeah, so X's other gauntlet, like the gem inlaid hand, he just holds it up, and all of a sudden, this last remaining dude gets wreathed in like this purple energy, and essentially I'm casting Hex on this mook. So I'm going to do bonus damage when I launch a projectile of purple laser, essentially, from my hand, from the gem, as it careens after this thing. I have a range of 120 feet on this, so. And I get a 21 to hit. And I do, 14 points of force damage.
And you take him out.
And so, like, yeah, I imagine, Civi's just like running after him, and then all of a sudden, boom, from like over his shoulder, this like projectile of magic just like disintegrates it.
CV, you were like within range. You knew that he had to either take an attack from you, provoke an attack from you, or move only a short distance, and you would have been able to finish him off. Like you would be able to finish him off in a short time, and all of a sudden, this purple magic, there's no way else you could describe it, just finishes him off.
You, from the distance, you watch Civi slow down, arms at his side, holding the spear. Turn around, start walking back up. Are we still in initiative? Is there any more left?
Nope, that's the last one.
Awesome. Then I walk back up the distance, and right as I'm getting closer to you, my height begins to shrink back down, and I'm back in front of you now, arms crossed, looking up at you, very, very cross with you.
Whether it's a look of innocence or like apathy, you can't tell. Just nothing. I just meet your eyes, but you can't tell what I'm emoting. You just see that helmet with these thick goggles. No words leave X's mouth.
Just scowling.
CV, you're pretty sure Isleen is all about the magic. You were a little uncertain about X, but you think he has some magic, but he's a decent fighter. Cacophonix, you have no clue. Like, you think most likely magic, but you thought he could fight.
Slurs. Just that's all I know.
You thought he could fight? He had a nice sword, but he didn't seem to do much that you could see, at least. And Swifter Than Swords was actually hitting stuff, and you're not certain. You didn't get a good look. You don't know if he cast any magic because you weren't really looking in his direction. So all you saw him is punching and slashing with his sword.
After shaking my head at X, I'll go over and stand beside Swifter Than Swords, still scowling at the rest of the group.
And Swifter will look down at CV and then glance over at X and just say to CV, "That is the exact expression I have on my face most of the time I look at that creature. Just keep your distance from it." And he starts wiping his short sword on the grass or on any scraps of clothing these creatures might have, just cleaning it of all the blood.
After that, CV will go around and start grabbing these wretched spears and just snapping them in half, putting his foot on it, grabbing it by the whatever it's got, the sharpened end or the stone, and just snapping them in half so that they're just total trash.
Are you going to do anything with the really rough, glassy daggers?
If I was playing anybody but CV, I have lots of great ideas. But right now, you know what? CV, remembering that hole that was dug, we'll start rounding them all up. And then go to the side of the cave of the mouth, start digging a hole with his own hands, because that's a great idea. And he's going to bury these things. Unless somebody would like to throw them. In fact, CV will then stop mid-digging going, "That's a great idea." And we'll come over with tons of these and goes, "CV thinks you should use this. This is much better than magic. Take as many as you like. CV doesn't care."
And with that, we're gonna end it. Thank you, anyone who may watch this. I don't think anyone. Well, you know what? I never posted the link, so nobody knows that we're playing. So, thank you, anyone who will watch this. Thanks to everyone. That was a great episode. I enjoyed it. Thanks for Jim providing some nice character to the group. If You're welcome to stay with us if you want to.
Thank you.
And we could do some outros. We'll go Karen.
Hi, this is Karen, and this has been a great, fun time. Kapanix looks at his pristine weapon as he puts it away for the next one.
Thank you. And Jim.
Thank you all so much for letting me game with y'all tonight. I absolutely enjoyed getting to play CV and getting to put CV into y'all's world, and I hope I get to see y'all next time you play.
Thank you, Jim. Connor.
Hello. I was playing X, this, wacko, creepy statue robot person with a weird ability set. I had fun. I like just being like the silent observer that just like is silently judging everyone. It's kind of fun. I'm really excited for the next session to explore this cave.
Thank you. And Chris.
Well, thanks everybody. That was a blast. I'm really glad that Jim and Jason could join us. Jason got to join in late. And yeah, looking forward to the next session. Thanks.
Jason, thanks for joining us. I think you helped them out in the last, first and last fight of the session. Anything you want to say or any channel you want to plug?
Yeah, thank you guys for letting me join late. I know it's kind of weird incorporating characters that aren't there when their players aren't there. So thank you for doing that, Paul, and the rest of you guys. I actually went ahead and started my own little YouTube channel. It's nothing fancy. It's called Concepts and Characters. I actually have the first session that we played of this game on there already. So if you want to check out that game or any other games I've played in, I don't have anything that I've run on there yet, but that could happen as well. But yeah, this was awesome. I'm glad I got to be a crazy monk and punch things and kick things and everything. So that was pretty cool. And I'm really looking forward to the next session and getting to know these new characters like Isling and maybe CB if he joins us again. So yeah, thanks so much, guys.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. I had a lot of fun, and we'll see you again next month.